Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Madeline. I create knitting content here on YouTube. In today's video, I'm going to be walking you through the steps that I use to make this scarf with Fringe. So basically the two things you need to know before watching this tutorial is just how to knit and purl, and then I'll teach you everything else along the way. So this scarf is knit on the bias. So when you look at it, you'll see that there is this diagonal edge. So essentially, kind of think almost that we're knitting diagonally. And the way you do this is through increases and decreases. So first I'm just going to show you how to cast on. Once we cast on, I'm going to go through the two pattern rows that are involved in this knitting on the bias scarf. And then we're going to continue knitting all the way across to the other side. We're going to bind off. And then lastly, I'm going to show you how to create fringe for your scarf. Down in the description box below, you're going to find a few things. So first, you're going to find all the materials I used to make this pattern. And then the second thing you're going to find is a download to the PDF version of the pattern, so that way you can follow along with me as I'm knitting. I hope you enjoy this tutorial. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments down below. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Starting off with the yarn for this project, I'm using Stitch Studio by Nicole, and this is the Belle yarn base. The colorway I'm using is called Moonlight, and I'm going to be using the recommended needle size for this project. So this yarn recommends a size US 13, and if you're looking for comparable yarn, this one's labeled as a size 6, which is super bulky. Each one of these things of yarn comes with 210 yards. Then you're going to need a tapestry needle, and this is a fairly large tapestry needle just because this is really bulky yarn, so we want to be able to weave in our ends at the end. You're going to need one removable stitch marker, and this just helps at the beginning to mark the front and the back of your work. If you don't have a removable stitch marker, you can also just use a scrap piece of yarn and just tie it into your project and remove it later. For this project, I'm going to be using a size US 13 knitting needle. And just a note here, I do prefer to knit on circular knitting needles rather than straight knitting needles. So I'm going to be using circular for this project, but you can definitely use straight ones if you already have those. And the reason you can use either one is because for this project we're knitting flat. The cast on I'll be using in this tutorial is called the loop cast on. It's sometimes also called the backwards loop cast on. And the first step for that cast on is to create a slip knot. The reason I chose this cast on method for this video is because it's great for beginner knitters. So for the loop cast on, you don't actually need that long of a tail. You'll be casting on the stitches using the working yarn. So the tail is the piece with the end that kind of just hangs off your work as you knit along, and then eventually we weave it in. And then the working yarn is the yarn that's attached to your full ball of yarn. To create the slip knot, I'm going to take my tail and put it in my left hand. And I'm going to leave myself probably about 8 inches just because that's how much I like to have to weave in. And now I have my working yarn coming out up over my hand. I'm going to grab the tail with my bottom 3 fingers. And now I'm going to take my working yarn and I'm going to go up over, then down behind my pointer finger. Repeat that wrap again. And then finally repeat it one last time. And you're going to want to end up with the working yarn coming out the bottom. Now I grab both those strands with my left hand, and now I kind of have 3 loops over my pointer finger. I'm going to take the second loop, bring it up over the first loop, take the new second loop, bring it up over the first loop, and then finally grabbing on to the second loop, I'm going to slide it off my finger. And when I do that, I've created a slip knot. So now you can place your slip knot onto your knitting needle, and you just want to pull it on there to tighten. I typically pull my tail, and that slip knot counts as our first stitch. Now that we've done that, I'm going to continue with my cast on. So this cast on, it's nice because we really only have to use one finger, and it's kind of similar to the slip knot how I do it. So again, I'm going to grab my working yarn, my left hand, hold it with the bottom 3 fingers, put my pointer finger behind the strand of yarn, bring my pointer finger towards myself and then back behind the strand. So there's like one loop around my finger. Now I take my knitting needle, slide it under that loop, and then slide the stitch right onto the needle. So again, to show you, I'm just holding my tail off to the side too with my right hand, just so I don't accidentally start casting on with that. But I'm gonna put my hand behind my working yarn, grab it with my bottom 3 fingers. Now I'm gonna take my pointer finger, bring it towards myself, up over the strand of yarn. So now it's kind of like my pointer finger is in front of my needle. I'm gonna bring the tip of my needle underneath that strand, slide it off my finger and onto the knitting needle. So I'm gonna continue until I have a total of 24 stitches cast on. And again, that slip knot does count as the first stitch. Once I've cast on those 24 stitches, I'm gonna turn my work and begin to work the first row. So after using that cast on method, I'm actually gonna purl across this first row. So to start, I'm gonna put my needle behind the yarn. So basically my working yarn is coming out in front of my knitting needles. I'm gonna slip that first stitch purl-wise. So just put it in as if you're gonna purl, slip it, and now I'm gonna continue purling across the rest of the stitches in this row. And sometimes when you use this cast on method, you can end up with a fairly large bar in between 2 of the stitches, depending on how you pulled that first row. Don't worry about that as you go along, it'll even out. Now I finished going across that row, so I'm going to turn my work again. Now that we finished that first purl row, we're ready to begin the 2 repeat rows of this pattern. So in the first row, that's where we're going to do the decrease at the beginning and then the increase at the end. And then the second row, we're going to work back across, just knitting all the way. Now the first stitch in each one of those rows is going to be to slip the first stitch purlwise. To do that, I'm going to start off with my working yarn in front of my knitting needle. So again, coming out almost as if I'm going to purl it. And I'm just going to slide it purlwise. Then I'm going to take the working yarn in between the 2 knitting needles to the back of my work and get ready to knit. So I'm going to do a knit 2 together, which is just where you take your knitting needle and put it into both stitches at one time. Wrap your yarn around and pull through. So we just decrease those 2 stitches together into 1. Now I'm going to knit until 2 stitches remain. Now on the second to last stitch, I'm going to work a knit front, knit back. So how you do the stitch is first I'm going to take my right needle and I'm going to put it into the front of this stitch as if to knit, wrap my yarn around and pull the yarn through. But you don't want to slide this stitch off the left needle yet. We still need to knit into the back of the same stitch. So I'm going to go to the back of my work, put the right knitting needle through the back of that same stitch, wrap my yarn around and pull through. Now I've knit into the back and the front of that stitch, so I can slide it off of my left needle. So essentially I just took that 1 stitch and turned it into 2 stitches. Now I'm going to knit that final stitch. So that's the first row of the pattern. And to mark that row, I'm going to put my stitch marker on this side of my work. So I'm just gonna hook it into any one of those stitches. So now I'm gonna be able to remember that this is the side of my work I have to work that decrease and increase on. I'm gonna turn my work and now do the second row of that pattern. So again, I wanna slip my first stitch with the yarn in front, purlwise. Then I'm gonna take my yarn in between the two knitting needles to the back of my work, and I'm just gonna knit all the way across this row. So that was the second row of the repeat. Once I turn my work again, I'm back at the side with a stitch marker on the front. So that is the row where I work, first I slip my first stitch purlwise, I work a decrease, knit until 2 stitches remain, work a knit front, knit back, and then knit the last stitch. Then again, I'd turn my work, slip my first stitch, and knit all the way across. So now I'm going to continue working those 2 rows of the repeat. And after you work a couple of them, you'll begin to see the kind of diagonal shape that forms. I've now finished my scarf to the length that I'd like it. So when I measure it along one of the edges, it measures 47 inches. And along the way, just another thing I've been doing is I've been moving the removable stitch marker up as I go along, just so that way I'm always extra reminded that this is the side that I work the decrease and increase on. So now that I've reached the 47 inches, I'm gonna cast off. I'm gonna do the cast off row by first slipping the first stitch purlwise, as we did with all the previous rows. Bring the yarn to the back. Then I'm gonna knit the first stitch. Slide the first stitch that we slipped previously up and over the stitch we just worked and off the needle. So we just decreased or cast off 1 stitch. I'm gonna knit the next stitch on my left hand needle, pass the furthest rightmost stitch up over that second stitch and off the needle. And now you're gonna keep on continuing repeating those 2 steps. So I'm gonna take that first stitch, pass it up over, knit 1 stitch, and then pass the first stitch up and over. So I'm gonna keep on doing this until I have 1 stitch remaining on my right hand needle. Now I just have that 1 stitch remaining. So I'm gonna pull my needle upwards. Basically it's just gonna make a larger loop. Now I'm going to cut my working yarn, leaving about an 8-inch tail. And then I just take the tail and put it right through that loop. Pull on the tail, and it just secures it in a little knot. After finishing, this is how much yarn I have left over. So this is what I'm going to be using to make the fringe for the scarf. For the fringe, here I just have 2 sides. So this is the side I've already completed. And then this is the one I'm about to show you. The supplies you need are, first you just need a pair of scissors. You need the yarn that you have left over. And I'm using a crochet hook to thread my yarn through. So this crochet hook is a size M. And then lastly, you're gonna need either a guide or a ruler. And the goal for that is that we need to measure this yarn into between 9 and 10-inch strands. And the reason for that is basically I take 4 strands that are each 9 to 10 inches long, and I thread them through, and that creates each one of these little bundles. And then I just evenly space them along the bottom edge. So I actually start with 2 that are closer together, and then evenly space them throughout, and then finish with 2 that are a little bit closer together. And I think that creates a really nice finished product. The guide that I found that works pretty well is this is just a soap box that I folded in the edges on one side for. So to make my 9-inch strands, you just take your yarn, hold it in one location, and then you just wrap your yarn around. So every time you go around, that's going to be 1 strand. So now once I've finished wrapping it around, I just bring my yarn back up to the top. And I'm just going to cut it right in the center of that top. And also you want to make sure if you are using a soap box for this, that you leave the bar of soap in there so the box doesn't just collapse on itself. And now you just want to hold the box around the sides, that way the yarn doesn't move anywhere. And now you're just gonna put your scissors in and cut right across. And this is similar to like how you do pom-poms on pom-pom makers. Just this way you don't need to buy like a tassel making guide. If you don't want to do it this way too, you can just measure 9-inch strands and then cut them that way. Here are all the strands that I'll be using for the second half of my scarf. And the side of my scarf I start with facing me is the side with the knit stitches as the first row. So you can see down here at the bottom we have a cast on row, and then it goes right into kind of like the flat portion, which are the knit stitches, and then these bumps are purl stitches. So essentially if I look at this other side, that first row is all purl bumps. So you want to look at the side that has the knit stitches. And I'm just going to start up at this corner. Now I want to take two sides of my cast on edge. So I'm going to put my crochet hook into that corner location. So that's right where my work turns. I'm going to take 4 strands. And now I'm just going to lay them over the crochet hook underneath the hook so that it's just about in the center. Pull those down through the location I chose. And now you can take them off your crochet hook. You just want to kind of recenter these. And now you want to take all these strands and pull them through that hole. Then just tighten them right onto the scarf. So there's my first one. And at the end, I just go along and I just trim all these edges so that they end up being nice and even. So from this front, I'm going to count 2 of these diagonals over and then put in my next one. So I'm going to go right here. Take 4 more strands underneath the crochet hook and then pull them through. And then again, pull the tails through the loop and just tighten it right on there. So now that's my second one. And I'm just going to continue going all the way across. And if you want to, you can add more or less strands to each one of these, or you can put them closer together or further apart for whatever kind of look you're going for. So I'll come back and show you what it looks like when it's all finished. Here's the finished scarf. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them down below. And again, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.